everyone. So why don't we start with a round of introductions, and everybody kind of says who they are. We have, of course, two graduate students with us right now, and see if anybody else is gonna join us. But why don't we just take a quick round?
But before we start introducing ourselves, I wanted to mention that Business of Media is a class where my graduate students learn about the business operations, learn about some of the challenges that relate to the industry. They also go out in the field and talk to some business managers. They read different books that relate to industry. So it's a little bit different than the undergraduate studies, but hopefully with this experience also, it's not just theory, but also, they apply it just like you guys who are out in the field, back in the classroom. All right, so let's start with our graduate students. Mike, do you want to introduce yourself briefly?
Hi, Mike Valentino. I'm a graduate student working on my degree in social media, and that's me.
Mike, tell us a little bit about what you do at the radio station.
I'm a news anchor at WRVA, Richmond's 50,000 watt flamethrower, and help keep the radio station on the air. I guess you could call it. I'm somewhat of a DJ, but not really spinning tunes. I'm spinning the news. That'd be one way to put it.
Okay, great.
All right, and here we have Jason. Now, why is it? All right.
I can barely hear you guys. I don't know if we can make a volume adjustment or not.
Marcus, is there a way to move this camera or something?
No. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Nobody was speaking just a second ago, so that was probably the issue.
Were you able to hear me when I talked before?
I can hear you now. It's harder when you're in the back of the room.
Okay.
Why don't you stay up front then?
All right. So I'm going to stay here.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Jason Fuller, Detroit, Michigan, or the Dean. I did my undergraduate work at the University of New Mexico. The degree was in communication, double major studies. And prior to my departure from New Mexico, I had a fellowship with a 4 year with Generation Justice. So that was my first journalism. So I loved it. Did radio, also did some, and in the PC for graduate school. Semester's been interesting, but doing well. Off out. So.
Thanks for your teacher. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, great. And we also have another graduate student. Do you want to introduce yourself? Well,
I'm Joelle Hall, and
Mike, were you able to hear Sharon?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, then let's take a round of all of our undergraduates. Started.
Can you? I wonder if maybe. I mean, yeah. If you guys can stand up or something, because I don't think.
No, everybody's in the picture now.
Yeah. Okay. So no, because I didn't. Go ahead.
I'm Chris Suarez, Fairfax.
Okay, what do you study?
I'm studying journalism. I'm doing print. I work for the Commonwealth Times right now. I love Richmond. Richmond's cool. BC's nice.
Yeah. So let's just go around the room, guys, because I know it's weird, like to see yourself while you're talking, but anyway, since we don't have all of our graduate students, it'd be nice if they get to see you. So yeah, let's just go like this, and then introduce yourself.
Mike, wait, welcome
I'm just wandering around. Y'all know me. I'm a pacer.
But stay with
We'll
us
go outside and do this.
because otherwise the camera goes to you.
Oh, does it every time I move or talk?
Every
Mike,
time,
go mute your mic if you're walking around, please.
Okay.
because every time you move, then the camera takes your sound and then takes you, kind of follows you.
I'll be quiet.
All right, so Eric.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Have you changed outfits already in this hangout?
No, I put on a hat and a sweatshirt. I was cold.
Okay. All right. Well, you know me. I can kind of pass the mic.
Well,
Yeah.
graduate students.
Huh?
The
He
graduate
knows all
students.
of them from the other.
Oh yes, you're right. Okay.
John?
All right.
From Fredericksburg. I like VCU.
Hi, my name is Nicole. I'm a print journalism major graduating in December, and I'm from New Jersey.
Hi, I'm Lori. Print journalism major, graduate in December, and I'm from California.
Hi, my name is Abid Rahman. I'm a print journalism major. I'm from Virginia Beach, and I'm graduating in December as well.
My name is Michael Melkonian. I do print online, and I graduate.
My name is Rachel Mahoney. I'm an online major, and
my name is Lola. I'm a print journalism major. I also graduate in December.
I'm a print journalism major, and I'll be graduating.
All right. Yep.
I'm Allie Maslowski. I'm studying print journalism and political science, and I graduated.
I'm Victoria Zarkowski, and I study print journalism and graduate in May.
You're right. All right. So now that we've all introduced each other, as you saw in our Google document, I don't think, Marcus, can we change to the Google document? No, right?
You could do a slide share.
And then incorporate the links.
And you can do
Oh no, tunnel.
a screen share,
Well, right there, share. Okay.
and then and it should share the screen now.
Mike,
Work-
can you see the document?
Yes, it's working on my end.
Marcus, can you is it so will they see the scrolling?
Yeah, he sees the scrolling.
Okay, all right, guys. So as you already know, so the first part, so this mobile project involves several parts. The first stage, of course, was brainstorming about the mobile app and all the features, and we also divided you in different teams. I'm not going to go over the different names, but you can see your team members, and we added all the emails there. So before we go into the details, let's talk a little bit about some of the features, some of the goals that you want that mobile app, to do. Okay. Right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe backtrack a little. So, so of course we have for our graduate students as well, we have this iPadJournos project, which is mobile reporting on elections. And so we just wrapped up all of the reporting on the midterm elections. And students are reporting for CBS 6, but we really don't have our own publishing platform for the project. Everything goes on the website of CBS 6. So what we like to do is to have a mobile presence for the project itself that can also showcase stories from the project, but also stories that were published on CBS 6. So the idea is to have an app for this project that can then be kind of like an incubator for the entire school, because nobody in the school has an app. The school certainly doesn't have an app. So it's a first step. And so we want to give you as little instruction as possible, because we want you to be as creative as possible. Okay. So the only thing that we're basically telling you is kind of the parameters for the report that you better write. But we want you to conceptualize an app. What should an app for this project be able to do? And what's the audience for that app? You kind of have to provide a rationale for the app. And how could an app be developed and what features does it need to have? You'll finish all of that before Thanksgiving, and then the graduate students go on by themselves. You can certainly join them for the undergraduate students, but you don't have to. And then the graduate students are developing a business plan around the app, how our development costs are going to be covered, and how can the app be maintained in the long run with the cost that is involved in running the app. So the first stage is to find yourself, or the first stage was to think about what an app should be doing. What are you thinking about when you think of an app? The second step now is to meet your teams. We're doing that right now. Every team, after we're done today, should contact each other. So when all the undergraduate students are coming back next Tuesday for class, you should be way on your way to communicating with each other and starting conceptualizing. And so we're asking you to write a 10-page strategy report. There are some additional pages that go with it, but we're not going to give you a lot of credit for doing the table of content. And so the core of the report that you need to write is 10 pages. Yeah, it's single space, and but you can use screenshots. So students in this class have experimented a lot with apps this semester. You know a lot of the features that you like that a news app should have, and you can pull different features from different apps into the app that you think should be designed.
Right, and something that we had talked about is that you don't, at this stage, because it's really the brainstorming stage, the planning stage, coming out with that concept, you don't need to think about like how much is that going to cost. That's going to be up to our graduate students eventually to come up with the business plan. So at this point, it's really a matter of working in teams and then coming up with a concept for that mobile app that eventually we can develop and then bring it to our school. And then, as Marcus mentioned, it's the first step. Mike, what are you doing? Playing with your Coke.
Oh, sorry, having a little Coke.
Right, so any comments or questions so far?
What are some of the ideas that you came up
Yeah.
in your brainstorming?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. How about we start with our graduate students since they're visiting us? Jason, you wanna?
So should I pull it up on my end?
Yeah, you can just pull it up on your end, and then if you don't mind, speak a little bit louder so that the audio records well.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. It's just like basic. You know, the three. We asked you guys to brainstorm about 3 ideas, and maybe you could talk about one, and just.
So with the additional information you guys saying it's going to get used to the school, my original idea was to create some sort of telecommunication feature where individuals are able to interface, but specifically for VCU. So it's almost like Skype, but it's like specifically designated for VCU students, faculty, staff. Often people have 4 to 5 business meetings a day, like right? So it will be come from a VCU Skype, the one said. I think in addition to that, with the election just ended, and really there not being a huge turnout in certain states throughout the nation, I think that perhaps a political app where individuals actually able to like possibly vote from a mobile app. I think that's
Okay. So integrating the voting process in that app. Okay. Sure. You want to share your thoughts? If you don't mind, say a little louder so that the audio records.
I want to create a like self-created content platform.
Okay.
Like, and people can share their stories and all the channels for our people to like to post, to like repost or any other thing and create a very high
Interactive?
platform. Yeah.
Okay, so the sharing component would be more like important.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So visualization.
And visualization. Okay, thank you. Mike, what about you?
Well, obviously we haven't had a chance to talk with our group to find out exactly what type of app we're going to create, or if they've already created it or have that idea. But we're going to market it like Apple and kind of like a computer or like a radio station. We're going to do work on the demographics that we're trying to reach with our project and our app, the people it's aiming toward, and we'll do some research to find out whether they like the shape of the app, the usability, the colors that we're using, various things like that. And we'll compile all this information and hopefully come out with a product that we're able to plug via Apple or at the App Store or other ways of social media of getting the word out there, and go from there, I guess.
Okay, thank you. All right. Why don't we just move on to this side? Mike, you want to start?
I like, my favorite idea was that somehow it compiles everyone who's in the class, like all their social media streams into one stream that shows up on maybe under a tab on that app.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so having a strong social media presence and showcasing your expertise. Okay.
I was kind of thinking, I guess, since you guys were saying that was going to be a thing for the whole school.
Well, that's the
no,
main
that's
vision. No, that's the
later.
main vision.
Okay, well, I
Little
guess
steps.
just
It's gonna be for iPadJournos.
okay.
Big vision. That would be cool. I mean, how cool would it be to have a mobile app where we can all showcase?
So would it be okay if
the
like
work.
this mobile app like had like even previous students like that had been a part of iPadJournos, or you guys just focusing purely on the class?
Yeah, right now we're just focusing on iPadJournos, but as you saw the iPadJournos website, Marcus has a section with alumni or former, iPadJournos. So that's one way to kind of network with previous iPadJournal students. So I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, that could be a feature,
Okay.
where people can network. So the networking side is what you're into? Okay.
I actually had a little bit of a multimedia focused idea where it would be a seamless RSS feed of what all we're looking at as far as kind of like, I see on our Twitter feeds, because we all tweet every day, follow each other. We're all sharing what we think is interesting. And sometimes I'll be like, oh man, I didn't even see that. And so I think my idea was to have like a totally seamless multimedia, like video, like followed by sound or picture, and with a link or a menu of options where you can, either post it to a social media account that you have, or go into the link of the story or wherever it was that this person was sharing, and have it be within the group something where you're all like, hey everyone, check this thing out. I can scroll through it like a news.
Okay, so it would be more like you posting Twitter and it picks up from Twitter.
I was thinking that it would be primary, so that you could share to Twitter from the app.
Okay.
I mean, it was something I was thinking about. I just really wanted it to be super condensed media and super streamlined, and just something where you could, if you wanted to look further into it, you could go and click on the link and go further into that, and then you could share it on any social media account.
Okay, so it would be the starting point. Our point would be the starting point.
Right.
Okay. All right. Just go here.
I definitely agree. I think that we should have a way that you can view videos that we've worked on, as well as incorporate some of the photos. And also, I think that it should be something kind of like, I don't know, like a CBS 6 app where you look at it and you can share a story that you like via social media. And I think basically we should like have a page where all of the stuff that we're working on are put together, and it's organized by, whatever is most recent. But, someone could open the app and see the stories that we've done all together together in one place.
I was thinking like the app that like help you organize your articles. Like if you apply like a labeling system to them, like whatever category the story is about, and have all those. And then also have, like, push notification settings, so if your article gets a hit, like a comment or a like or something, it'll let you know immediately.
Mike, we can hear your dog.
Oh, it's not mine. It's the neighbors, but I'll move somewhere a little quieter.
Okay, right. So the commenting feature would be really
I was trying to think of things that I wish that we had when we were writing stories. So like people I wanted something like maybe not like a Dropbox, well maybe like a Dropbox or a Google Doc, so you could upload all the videos and then everyone could access them and download them from there. I know that's helpful, but it still would be really helpful. And then maybe something like in private features. So while we're working on something that was just for our profiles on the app, and then a public feature for anyone who's finished stories or photos or other multiple that.
Okay. Now, why, so you're thinking more like workflow for the reporters, or why would you want to upload all the videos in like one place?
Just to make it easier for everyone to have access, because I mean download them onto their.
Okay, so sharing. So if I'm someone from RVA and I just want your video to make it easier for them to download.
I'm thinking more for people with stories.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, overall, I just think that it should be really simple to use on a phone. So I feel like a lot of apps forget that, you know, the difference between the screens and stuff like that. So I think, I don't know exactly, I don't have specific ideas on that, but that for one. And I was kind of thinking that maybe if you that you be working on your stories through this app, and if you were, I think it would be cool to have like when you go to get notified if any other news is published based on the content that you're working on. So but you know if there's new information.
Okay. Yeah. So now that's interesting that you guys mentioned that, because I don't think, Marcus, when we were thinking about this project, we weren't thinking an app that can allow or facilitate reporters, right? We were thinking more like the public,
Right.
like how people can access your content. But
Right,
you
so-
guys are
and-
thinking more like
An app for a news audience.
for a news audience, right? But you guys are thinking more like an app for reporters. Can you guys expand a little bit as to why would you be more interested in?
You're thinking more about how the app can be useful for you
Right.
rather than how it can
For the audience.
be for a news audience.
And that's interesting too, because I mean, that could be a separate app in itself. One for reporters. So what made you think of that? Like, is it experience reporting, or what? How do you come up with that angle for this project?
Sorry to interrupt. When I was thinking about it, I was thinking more in terms of the end user and making it, you know, aesthetically pleasing. But what might be interesting to combine both of them is, what if it worked somewhat like WordPress or Google Doc, where on the back end you could share documents, edit them inside of the app, and then publish in-app for the end user. So like you could collaborate with writers, but then export it to publish for people to view it, and you never have to leave the app. Like you could collaboratively edit and then just click publish, and it's there.
That's what I was thinking.
All in the
too,
same
like,
place.
Well, we have several content management systems, but what we were thinking was more like the end product, not necessarily the content management system, because you have some templates and things that you can actually populate in the back end, and then just, you know, showcase the work that you have.
Something you need to think about if you do that, right? You write your story in the app, that's kind of what you're envisioning, and then you're
Right.
publishing in the app. What you're taking out with that strategy is that you're not publishing with CPC.
That's what I thought.
Right, so I think
Yeah.
you can do that, But I think that would not really benefit any of the student reporters because you want that byline at the same time.
Right,
You
and
kind
the
of-
partnership, because
Right.
also it's an experience, it's not just the byline for your portfolio, it's also going through the whole process of working with an executive editor, you know, or, and a producer, and just meeting the deadline, right? So it's a partnership as well. What were you gonna say?
If it's focusing on our published content, and if we're sticking with if the iPadJournos product is with collection compliant, I think it would be interesting to have a sort of web link storify-ish type thing where, I mean, all of our stories somehow connect in a certain way, and we call it similar focus. And so what if it was a sort of way to network the stories within each other and then also include, here's some related stuff that we found online that you can read more about. You know, we mentioned this one thing, here's a history, or like here's a link to what happened last year in this sense, or something like that. If it still has a fairly strong political focus, or if everything's kind of got that.
I mean, so you're talking more about like curation, like curating comments or topics.
Right,
that-
and having it visualized so that you can see it spread out like a web, you know. Sometimes I always really enjoy when I see on news sites when they have links within the article to other, you know, you can read more about this here. You know, I use it at my internship a lot where you just link to this is what I'm referring to. This incidents, or you know, when this thing happened back in whatever, this is what happened, you can just click on the link and just check it out.
Right, so related content.
Right.
That's called packaging. So in web language, that would be packaging your stories with related content. Where are we? Are you Peter?
Yep.
Hi, Peter. Since I don't see him in person, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit and just share some of the? Yeah, do you want to move into maybe here, Peter? Welcome, Peter. Do you want to share some of your ideas that you posted on the Google document?
Well, I'm not that familiar with mobile apps actually. In fact, my phone is still old enough. But the biggest thing I said is pretty much just that usually ads aren't free. Should be a quick and easy way to pay for it.
Free, or can you repeat that again?
Usually apps aren't free, so there should just be a quick and easy way to pay for it on any app really.
Okay. All right, so monetizing it.
That will be something to think about when you get to the business plan, which will be a later step. And you got to make that business decision whether, so you got to have a realistic business plan whether people are going to pay for student content. So that's something that the graduate students, you will have to figure out later on. Can you actually charge people for the app, or do you have to find other revenue?
Right, because you are competing with other content. Right?
So I was thinking on the app like story and we can talk about upcoming stories, maybe to advertise. And then on our end we could have something like demographics, like YouTube and Facebook has you reading our story.
I guess I was thinking more along the lines of a reporter also, just from my experience in the class. So I said it would be interesting to have like maybe links is like AP style book or whatever in the app that can, while you're in the field report.
But at this point, we were thinking more like the audience because, as I mentioned, iPadJournos is the client, and Marcus has already worked with this class for 3 years, so there's a lot of content out there. Now the idea is to really develop something that we can share it not just with a few users, but with more people out there. All right, you want to share your idea?
I think
for most importantly, the apps should be as do differently as possible. There are some, you should never have to learn how to use the app. I think that it should be so even like an ordinary sim, if they're in social media and they want to be part of it, they should be able to use it the same way that we're going to use it. Also, like just making sure that when you post on one app like Twitter, it's linked to all your other apps. So you're not you don't have to go and post it on app. So that it's all if you're posting a story that it's all going on. I know like some apps you can only post on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, but other like 4 or 5 you can be able to have it on all your apps.
Okay, so being compatible with other with majority of apps. Yeah. Okay.
I kind of like how everything that you need to do at one time. So like just like the casual should be able to like access one story and then go to another easily without having to search and look up by yourself. It just does it automatically for you. The election stories that we did, like keywords within the stories, which is how everything together. And it has like maybe like a movie, like those kind of options, because everything comes at you so fast. So like when you're done with one, the option to go back and you're not missing. Like you have to favorite it or repeat it or something to make sure you get back to it later. But the app will somehow allow you to have everything there at one time. Like say like a news of the day list kind of thing there for that day and the following day.
Yeah, but having that option of read later. Cool. Yeah, I like that idea. Good. So as we mentioned already, so you all have great ideas. Now that we clarified some of the things, we are looking at the audience, outside of reporters. But of course, since you know your content, you know some of the challenges, you know some of the stories that are relevant to people, to the public, then that's why I said, think as reporters. All right, so we mentioned 10 pages. I think the font is 12, times New Roman. What I would encourage you, maybe I'll give you like a few minutes right now, like, I don't know if you want to like just mingle a little bit for a few minutes. And what I was saying, one of you just be in charge of creating that Google document, so that you can communicate, just figure out who's going to do what, and then it's easier to work that way. The deadline for this, I think we said November 25th?
25th is right before Thanksgiving.
Right, so you definitely want to turn this in before Thanksgiving, right?
Right. The graduate students take it afterwards and develop this plan around it.
Exactly. So this involves just the concept of the mobile app. Well, why have it? What it does? Who's your audience? You don't really have to worry about monetization or anything like that because that's going to be a separate project for the graduate student.
And so you can have all sorts of ideas. We're looking for a strong focus. So the first thing you should in the team is think about what's the main purpose of the app, and then think about what should it be able to do. And you need to be able to describe that in your report in detail. But you can, for example, say, well, it should have this news curation feature. And actually, this app has that. And this is how it looks like. Take a screenshot to show us in the report. So the 10 pages of your report are not 10 pages single-space text, but it's a combination of text and visually showing us what you want to do. Of course, you should not have 8 or 9 pages of screenshots and half a page of text, right? So there needs to be a balance. We're going to look for some balance. Something that you should do right now, we'll give you until like 11 o'clock, is in the members of the team that are available right now, determine how you're going to communicate, okay? So the undergraduate students, of course, have class all next week, but the graduate students are not necessarily here. So if you have the graduate students here, about we have 4. How many are there total?
I think I have 8.
8. So about half of them are here. If they're not here, make a plan how you're going to communicate communicate with them. So here are your tools. You can use a Google Hangout. You can Skype with them. You can also create your own Facebook group where you can post messages so that you can also asynchronously communicate. In a group project with 5 or 6 people over 2 to 3 weeks, it's not a good idea to have all communication run on email. It's just going to create chaos. So find a channel that's good for you. Our recommendation to prepare the report is to have a Google Doc. Okay, visuals are always not that great in a Google Doc, but at least to write, use the Google Doc, and then in the end you can download it and email it. Okay, so what we want you to do is, Peter, do you know who you're in the team with?
Shakola. Yeah, I think
They're over there, so you
they're
can
right here,
join them
so-
over there. Mike, who you're in the team with? Do you remember?
Not off the top of my head.
I don't have.
Eric shared it with me last night.
With Nicole and John and
It's all
Brianna.
It's on our
And-
Facebook group. Fine.
And so
Okay.
we can get you out of the Google Hangout, or you can set up a new Google Hangout with the guys. Or do you have Skype?
I'm not a Skype user, but we can do this Google Hangout thing. That'll work.
So you're in team 2 with Nicole, Brianna, John, Rupa, and Rachel.
Right.
All right.
You guys can try to initiate a Google Hangout and then get Mike into the Google Hangout for the next couple of minutes. Or if that doesn't work, then just get Mike's phone number, put it in the middle of the table, and then maybe just go outside the room and talk to them.
Yeah, we can FaceTime. We'll do whatever we need to do.
Okay. Do you want to give them a number right quick?
Sure. 804.
Public that.
Oh, it's gonna
No,
be
no,
a
wait,
public.
wait, don't do it.
Sorry, Mike.
Do I have permission to give that out private?
Yeah, don't do it now because everything, remember, we're recording, this is the Google Hangout and it's
Right, that's
public,
right.
so you don't want to share all your personal information there.
Well, I'm sure you have my email address. You can give to them, and we can share it that way.
Okay. So just make sure that you're connecting with them now. So now is a good time to talk in your teams. We're available. We can come around. We can talk to you as well. So develop a process on how you're going to work together and how you're going to communicate. If the graduate students in your group are not there, develop the process and let them know. Everybody should at least have an initial email today with everybody in the group, so everybody knows where you're communicating and how this is going to move forward. By Tuesday, so on Thursday, all of the undergraduates, the iPadJournos, we're going to be at the Times Dispatch. By the way, the graduate students, if you've never been to the Richmond Times Dispatch, we're going to the newsroom, we're going for a news meeting, feel free to join us. It's at 9:30 in the morning, we'll meet over there. By next Tuesday, all of our undergraduate students, iPadJournos, should come to class and should be able to clearly describe the focus of the app. That doesn't mean you need to know all the features, but you need to determine in your group until next Tuesday, what is this app about? What's the rationale? So that you can come in here on Tuesday and think about what does it need to do. Okay, so you can then start talking about the features that it needs.
And of course, moving forward, our graduate students, you can join us via Google Hangout, or you can just come, when we have these sessions. Any questions, concerns, anything you guys want to add before we close or give you time to meet?
Okay,
good.
And
All right.
let's stop the broadcast.
All right.
Mike, the students are going to connect with you in a second via email.
Bye, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Sounds good. Eric has my phone number. He can share it with them if he'd like.
Okay.
All
great.
right,
Thanks,
thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Nice to meet everyone.
See ya.
Bye.